The big game is fast approaching, but wait, you still haven't got your tickets. You've spent hours searching, but you're still confused about ticket prices. Time to stop searching. Visit ticketcompare.com. We compare ticket prices for all the popular leagues and tournaments for you. We work only with the most trustworthy sites, so you can have peace of mind when buying your tickets. Compare prices, buy tickets, get to the game. Ticketcompare.com. Buying tickets made simple.
You want me here?
That's all right. Leave them out there. Leave them out there. I'm all right.
You might be passing on quarter to 300 people.
Yeah. 5-0, I'm all right. You just speak to 2 people. I do.
I don't cover it down, so...
Oh, no, keep him out there.
Sean, how do you sum that up?
I think it was a mixture of us having nothing to play for after the news yesterday, and that edge that you need to really take on a game is vital anyway, but it's definitely vital when a team turns up like that. And they had something to play for, which is the legend that is Arsene Wenger, rightly so. They turned up, they gave a performance, they all looked at it. Eyes were alive to give a performance. He's probably, enjoyed it and probably a bit frustrated, thinking, well, that would have been nice a bit more often. But they're a top-class group of players. I said that before the game. We played Chelsea the other week. It was 2-1 on the scoreline, but there was a big shift in the performance of them against us. And we know where we are, and that was a sign of it today. I thought they were clinical. Their pass and their movement, as good as recent performances have shown. And when they do that, they're very, very effective. But I'm certainly not going to overthink it or over-question my players, because they've been absolutely exceptional this season. And usually in a Premier League season, you get a couple of them knocks along the way. We haven't had many this season.
Was it just a bit of intensity lacking today?
Yeah, I think, like I say, the edge that you need when there's something on everything. It's very difficult. It can only be 1% sometimes. You can't measure it, but you know what I mean. It only needs to be a fraction off. And I thought there was just a bit of that. And against a very clinical Arsenal, they were clinical today. And we've seen them do it to a better side than us, by the way. When they're really on it, they find them passes in the box, they find clarity in the box, which they did. And they can hurt teams, as they did today. But you add in that softening off of our performance, not physically or any of that, just that edge that you have to play with. And I think that's a bad mixture for us and a good mixture for them. And unfortunately, we played our finish to the story for Arsene Wenger's. Well, certainly at home, we played our part, unfortunately, in what the story was probably meant to think, or people thought was meant to finish like, and it did. So that's the downside of it, that we played our part.
You'd like to have ruined the party, but do you think was there a sense of the occasion getting to the players? Or?
Oh, no, none of that. I really think that the fact that there's nothing on the game, for us, after yesterday's news, that changes the feel, that intensity and that edge that I talk about is a really important. I think Barnsley was a loss. He's been fantastic for us. I was really pleased with a couple of performances. I was really pleased with Jeff Hendrick. I was really pleased with his performance today, and we had pockets. Straight after half-time, I thought we came out well. The goal before half-time is a real killer, because it's really difficult against these when you're 1-0 down, but you go 2-0 down, it's very, very difficult to come back from that. And we tried, we attempted, no lack of effort, but just there's an edge that is important in players, and you could see it in them today. They wanted to perform, they wanted to deliver a performance to win in order for their manager to go off on a high note, and rightly so. A legend of the game.
You mentioned yesterday's news mathematically confirmed now, and it's an incredible achievement, isn't it?
Well, that's what I mean, and so it's there is kind of, it's like last season when we finally got to 40 points. If you remember, the next 2 games were flat, because it's like, right, okay, the big achievement was achieved. This is like beyond what everyone thought of us, don't forget, at the beginning of the season. I think we were second favourites to go down. So to have that news confirmed yesterday is like it's like, okay, well, that's another big marker, another big moment to get done. And then to come here today is actually like, then it goes like, oh, right, okay, we've got to go and perform there, probably expecting them to be on top of their game, which they were. And we've got nothing to play, or, nothing really. The home game, we're hoping, obviously, that's different. In front of our home fans, you want to go and perform. So that hopefully will bring that edge back. But I'm not going to question the players. I think they've been absolutely outstanding this season.
What does Europe mean to this club?
Well, apart from everyone, including the media, and they're just trying to tell me all the negatives about it, which is always interesting, I think, because that story sells better. For a club like Burnley to be in Europe in any way, shape or form is a massive achievement. We all know, there is a gap. We all know that. You look at the top 6. There is a definite gap, and that was on show. Don't get me wrong, it's harshest today, but generally there is a gap. To be considered at the league table, the best of the rest, if you like, is a fine achievement, because it's a difficult league. You know, look at the teams that are down fighting for their lives. Then no one would have called that at the beginning of the season. That proves how difficult it is to be in the Premier League. Firstly, we wanted to build on last season. Could we go better? Well, 40 points turns into 54 points, and that's a big shift. A team that hasn't had a penalty either. You need one of them now and again. You know, so you get to the point where we are now, and you're in a European competition. There's nothing but positives in that for me. And they're open-minded about what comes next. We know the challenges. Everyone tells you, by the way, constantly what the challenges are. But back to your point of my point in the question is, Burnley Football Club, European football. I don't think anyone thought that. Certainly not 5.5 years ago when I got to the club.
Sure. Have you allowed yourself to think about how you approach the Europa campaign as much of an achievement is? Because it would have on the summer, won't it?
Yeah, but I mean, some of the thoughts were the just-in-case thoughts. You're not in front of the players, because we want to take on every game as it comes. It's a big mantra of mine, take on each one because they're all important. But we have to, as a staff, we have to with the board, we have to look at it as a club. You don't know the logistics yet, because obviously it won't even be decided who you're playing and stuff like that. We can plan the pre-season, so that's already shifted. The dates have shifted forward, well, backwards, if you know what I mean, closer. So
a week earlier,
nearer,
like that.
earlier.
Yeah.
That's the word I was looking for. To give us a bit more time to make sure the players are fit and well. But there's also got the reality preparation, which is, yes, enjoy the fact you've made it into Europe, but we know that the real bread and butter is still the Premier League. That's the way it is. That's how powerful the Premier League is. So I think it is something to still try and do well in, but it's there to be enjoyed, to be respected of the fact that we've got there, but knowing that out here, well, not literally out here, but on the Premier League, that's the real stage for the club to continue growing and for the players to continue growing and improving.
It does feel as if it's such an achievement from Burnley, from yourselves, from all the players, that it would be crazy in any way to kind of not take it as serious as you possibly can.
No, there's no. We've never not taken anything seriously. But my point is that you still know that the real challenge for clubs like us is to continue the journey in the Premier League. It's just a fact. It's like when people talk about all these cups and that, and they say, "Oh, is it the downgrade of a cup?" Not at all. It's just a reality. The Premier League is a very, very, not only the kudos, not only the fact that it's a top league to be in. Then you add in the finance, then you add in the feel of it, then you add the feel of a town like Burnley. Have got a team in the Premier League. That's a real big thing. So there's no downgrading of it at all. Fantastic achievement for the players, but the focus will still remain heavily on the Premier League.
You don't know yet which teams are going to be in it, obviously.
No.
There was one stadium that you could lead your side down to.
Oh, do you know, I haven't even bothered with all that thought. I haven't, who knows until it comes out. There's that many good stadiums. By the way, there's a lot here. There's a lot in this country.
Turf Moor is going to be in
What, Turf Moor? Yeah, Turf Moor. That's not a bad start. Why are you laughing? European football at Turf Moor. What's that all about? Don't you lot thought it?
every week.
Pardon?
You leave them out at Turf Moor every week.
Well, not against European opposition, I don't. Apart from pre-season. No. That's a fair one, Daz. At the end of the day, I know I've come to understand what it means to a town like Burnley. I was from Kettering, don't forget. Kettering's a similar size. Kettering nearly went out of business a few years ago. They've got a team in the Premier League in a town like Burnley. 75-ish thousand people can fit inside of Old Trafford. What's that all about? That's amazing. And now in Europe. It's a fair one, Daz, yeah. I like that. Waiting to find out. Shoulder stroke collarbone, but waiting to find out an accurate view of what it is. He's gone off to hospital to find out.
What about Chris Wood?
Cut on his foot, close, but right on top of the foot. So, striking a ball and stuff like that. At this stage, there's a bit of common sense involved as well. We've got to protect. It's like Johan's been playing unbelievable for us, and he's got the World Cup coming. So we've got to factor that in. We've got him off today. I'd like to have got him off earlier. If things were a bit tight, I would have, because we've got to factor in that he's probably the definite. Well, he is the definite, I would imagine, and then a couple who may be. So there's a few things we've got to factor in now. Nothing to do with next season, but just common sense, really.
Manager of the Year nomination from the Premier League as well, and Player of the Year nomination for James Tarkowski. I mean, you and the players and the club deserve those plaudits this season.
Well, the Manager of the Year can only come from the players, because without them you can't be the Manager of the Year. So they really deserve whatever comes, if anything comes. And Tarky, why not? I think I saw the list and I thought, well, to be recognised in that list of players is a fantastic achievement, just to be recognised. I don't think he'll win it, not because I don't think he's a great player, but because, you know, there's other players in there who have done incredible seasons. But to be recognised, I think, is a fantastic achievement.
Could have been anyone of about 4 or 5 as well. You look at the number of player of the year, wasn't Nick Pope got last month?
Yeah, no, there's been some big performers. Like I say, the players deserve huge amounts of credit, and it's a hard one for me today to question them because they've been absolutely outstanding. You know, and so many, the development of so many players here that have come through, and still missing. You know, it's funny. You know, when you think you're missing Robbie Brady, who I think was outstanding the last 4 or 5 games before he got injured. Stephen Defoe having a fantastic season this season. You know, Woody's had spells of injuries. Barnes had a great season. You know, Tarky, the growth in him, the growth in Popey. Kevin Long, of course, by the way. You know, been sitting there for years. Everyone going, what does he do, that Kevin Long? Well, he's the experience he'll gain from games like this. Absolutely fantastic. So the story behind the story is one that I believe in, and I think it's a fantastic story. It doesn't need to be told all the time, but I know it's there.
Not many clubs have 2 England international goalkeepers.
Sorry?
Not many clubs have 2 England international goalkeepers.
It's a fair one. Cheers.
Thanks, ladies and gentlemen.